where people were celebrating from their homes with no social gatherings permitted. Where are you tuned in from, and how was your day? How are your celebrations like? Tell us and interact with us. We are also live on Facebook and YouTube. You can stream live. I'm Purity Museo. Let's begin the broadcast with the highlights. No sign of reprieve yet. Kenya reports 20 coronavirus-related deaths with 1,184 new cases in the last 24 hours. Tears in Nairobi's Blue Estate as a family loses 2 children to fire, with a dozen others left homeless following a morning inferno. And IMF comes to Kenya's rescue with 225 billion shillings loan to power its economic recovery and stability in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Baron Abuli is our sign language interpreter. The country has reported 20 deaths in the last 24 hours in the last 24 hours, taking the total death toll to 2,206. Over the same period, 1,184 new cases were confirmed from 7,139 samples tested, indicating a 16.5% positivity rate. 187 patients are fighting for their lives in the intensive care units in various hospitals across the country.
The new confirmed cases takes Kenya coronavirus caseload to 138,077 from a total of 1,511,592 tests undertaken since the country recorded its first case. In the last 24 hours, the country lost 20 patients, taking the death toll to 2,206. From the new confirmed cases, the youngest is a 1-year-old baby, while the oldest is 98. Nairobi County tops with 613 new cases, followed by Kiambu at 92, Nyeri 59, Kericho 47, Uasin Gishu 38, Machakos 37, Meru 33, Kajiado 28, Nakuru and Nyamira caps 26 each. A total of 1,582 patients are currently admitted in various hospitals countrywide, while 5,376 are on home-based isolation and care. 187 patients are in the ICU.
And on the vaccine story, the head of Africa's Center for Disease Control, Dr. John Nkengasong, has warned that the move by India to stop the export of AstraZeneca 2-dose vaccine spells doom for many African countries. According to the organization, more than half of the 29.1 million vaccine doses received by African nations are from the global COVAX initiative. But the Serum Institute of India that manufactures the vaccine has announced that as many as 90 million doses of the jab destined for COVAX worldwide will be delayed to allow the Asian country to address the local spike of the virus amongst its 1.4 billion people.
Africa's Center for Disease Control, CDC, says Africa is unlikely to meet its target for vaccinating the continent against COVID-19 if supply delays from a key Indian manufacturer continue.
This is a virus that is mutating, and it is going to continue to mutate unless we stop it from mutating, and the easiest way to stop it is to prevent transmission. And that is where the vaccines are so critical, that if we immunize quickly and at scale, then the issue of variants will go away.
Head of Africa's Disease Control further warns that India's move to shelve exports of AstraZeneca's 2-dose COVID-19 vaccine will undermine the continent's inoculation plans and could have a catastrophic impact.
It will definitely impact our ability to continuously vaccinate people. The first wave of vaccines came in through COVAX, and it was predominantly from AstraZeneca from India, from the Serum Institute. And if the delay continues, I really want to deliberately hope that it is a delay, not a ban, because that would be catastrophic if that was the case. Then meeting our vaccination schedule will become problematic, very, very problematic, I think.
India is racing against time to fast meet local demands, and as many as 90 million doses of the shot destined for the COVAX initiative worldwide will be delayed through the end of April. The hold will definitely impact Kenya's continuous ability to vaccinate people as the government relies on the vaccine. So far, about 196,000 Kenyans have received their first dose of the jab, and counties are already signaling its shortage.
Kama madaktari yetu wanaweza kutembea hata kwa maofisi ya chiefs, sana sana mahali wananchi wanapenda kwenda, wakuje wawapokee wawadunge shindano.
The country, according to the Ministry of Health, expects another consignment this month.
The government assures those who have already taken their first dose of vaccines outside the government deployment plan by this date will receive their dose when due.
The first group received the vaccine on the 5th of March and is scheduled for the second jab on the 30th of April. Meanwhile, Kenya is experiencing an acute shortage of antiretroviral ARV drugs, which has hit public hospitals greatly, affecting people living with HIV and AIDS. The Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya, PSK, reveals that persons living with HIV are having to endure reduced doses, with children and unborn babies particularly poised to suffer. On contention is a 90 million shillings tax standoff between Kenya and a U.S. importer of ARVs, USAID. PSK now urges President Uhuru Kenyatta to urgently instruct the Foreign Affairs, Health and Finance Ministries to solve the diplomatic matter between Kenya and USAID.
Police in Nairobi County have intensified the enforcement of health safety guidelines to curb the spread of COVID-19 amid concerns of laxity by a section of the public during the Easter holiday. Nairobi Central Business District Operations Commander David Apima says a multi-agency security team deployed in the city has impounded several public service vehicles found defying the government's directive on limiting the number of passengers as a way of preventing the spread of the novel coronavirus.
In Nairobi Central Business District, a section of interstage and short-distance matatu operators have largely abandoned sanitizing commuters, with most of them carrying excess passengers. In a move to enforce the measures to control the spread of coronavirus, police have intensified surveillance targeting vehicles and passengers flouting set regulations.
Tuko na roadblocks kila mahali. Ukifuata njia ya Rangata utakutana na roadblock. Ukifuata njia ya Landis utakutana na roadblock. Ukifuata njia ya Thika Road utapatana na roadblock. So tunaamini kwamba wewe ukibeba kutoka hapa town, ukiwa unafikiria kwamba utafika njiani na utakutana na maofisa na utashikwa, na wengi wameshikwa, na weekend hivi vile tumefanya operation na leo tutaendelea, kesho tutaendelea. Wale ambao watakuwa wamekaidi amri, Jumanne watapelekwa kotini.
Nairobi Central Business District Operations Commander David Apima, while noting a rising trend on violation of COVID-19 protocols, said officers on patrol on Good Friday arrested over 20 people, some of whom were claiming to have been stranded in the CBD after failing to find means to their homes owing to the 8 p.m. curfew.
Ukijua unatoka CBD, toka mapema. Toka kama 30 minutes before saa 2 ifike, ili by the time inafika huko mahali unaenda saa 2 kupate huko, utakuwa umepata kwamba curfew imelingana na vile inatakikana.
More than 20 public service vehicles were impounded and a handful passengers were nabbed for non-compliance along Mombasa Road. This is after the River multi-agency security team erected a barrier at Mlolongo town targeting vehicles plying Mombasa Road.
We have arrested most of them, especially those who are contravening, those failing to maintain social distance, and those who do not sanitize their customers. The operation will continue until we assure the COVID-19 is free from Athi River sub-county.
A few passengers who had no face mask were arrested, though many passengers were left stranded as section lauded the security agencies. In Nairobi, a spot check by Channel 1 established that the pain and frustration is evident among drivers of long-distance public service vehicles who have opted to carry cargo due to lack of passengers.
Hakuna kitu ingine tunafanya baba, tumeamua sasa kung'oa viti tubebage mzigo. Juu sasa tutafanya hata hiyo mzigo hakuna. Tunang'ang'ana tu tuone hata kama ni kitu kidogo, ngalau tugawane na dereva na ile inapatikana, tugawane tu tupate kitu wa kula.
Haupati barua za ndiposa upate hiyo kazi ya kubeba mizigo.
Mimi siko kazi, hata nyumba nilifungiwa. Mimi nalala nje saa hii. Nyumba nilifungiwa. Sina pesa, sina nini. Hata bibi alitoroka. Sina pesa ya kumpelekea, sina nini au kitu.
Ben Chumba reporting for Channel 1 News.
Moving on, 2 children were burnt beyond recognition Saturday morning in Nairobi's Blue Estate slums, with dozen others left homeless in a fire incident whose cause is yet to be established. Dennis Usiku, the father of the 2 minors, said the incident was so quick that he was not able to save his children.
It was tears in Blue Estate slums in Nairobi County after 2 children aged 3 years and 1.5 years were burnt beyond recognition in an early morning fire. Dennis Usiku, the father of the children, is still in shock.
Mke wangu akakuja, aliletwa na mtu akiwa analia, akasema ameambiwa watoto wamechomekea kwa nyumba. Ndio nimeitwa tu kazini, nikakuja nikapata nyumba zishaungua. Na watoto nikapata washachomekea ndani wote wawili.
The man who hails from Uganda is appealing for help to transport the bodies to his rural village for burial.
Saidie washughulikie kama ni kwa transport tuende tu wapeleke nyumbani.
Dozens more were left homeless as residents say little was salvaged and are now calling on the government to help them reconstruct their dwellings.
Hata sijui niseme aje. Yani tumechomekewa kila kitu. Kila kitu imeisha.
Saa 2 tumekuja kusaidia vitu, tumepata vitu vyetu vimechomeka. Sasa tunaomba kama radio ya KBC na kupitia serikali mtusaidie ile vitu vyetu tumeweza kupoteza, ili mweze kuturejeshea kama ni kidogo, ili tuanze maisha yetu tena irudi kama ilipokuwa hapo awali.
The cause of the fire is yet to be established, but residents suspect a gas cylinder might have exploded, igniting the stream of fire. Elsewhere, angry residents of Nguni in Mwingi East Kitui County have set on fire a local pub said to be belonging to a woman accused of killing a man who was on a drinking spree.
Kuja kwa ile club na kuiweka moto ikachomeka kabisa.
Hawataki kuona huyo mtu hapa, na pia wanauliza serikali waendelea kufanya uchunguzi.
3 people who were in the Torch pub have already been arrested in connection with the murder. Ruth Wamboi for Channel 1 Weekend.
The government of Kenya has secured a $2.34 billion loan and equivalent of 225.9 billion shillings from the International Monetary Fund. National Treasury and Planning Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani says the loan is a government initiative to facilitate a 38-month program targeted at supporting Kenya's economic recovery and stability. Yatani also acknowledged the need for adequate resources to manage uncertainties over the evolving nature of COVID-19 pandemic and unsteadiness surrounding supply of vaccines.
In the next few days, Kenya is scheduled to receive a total of 33.7 billion shillings and subsequently another 44.2 billion shillings by June 30th, 2021. The funds are part of the 225.9 billion Kenya shillings approved loan from the International Monetary Fund that is spread out over 3 years.
Amid the current public outcry over the rising cost of living and public wage bill, the government says the external funding is necessary. In a statement to newsrooms, Ministry of National Treasury and Planning Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani termed the move as a government initiative that will facilitate a 38-month economic recovery plan. 4 key areas will be covered in the program, namely scaling up the COVID-19 response in the immediate term, targeting the health sector and others most impacted by the pandemic, reducing debt vulnerabilities by pursuing a revenue-driven fiscal consolidation plan in order to stabilize the debt to GDP ratio and ultimately set it on a downward path. Structural and governance reforms while addressing weaknesses in state-owned enterprises with a view to enhancing efficiency in the management for economic and fiscal affairs. And finally, implementing specific measures to strengthen the monetary policy framework and support fiscal stability. The National Treasury further saying additional resource mobilization will be required to sustain interventions such as tax relief measures, additional public spending on health and targeted social programs. After the second disbursement by end of June this year, the balance will be released following reviews of every 6 months. Kamche Menza for Channel 1 News.
In other news, the Kenya Revenue Authority has made an improved tax collection, surpassing its monthly collection target for the 4th time in a row. In a statement, KRA says it collected 144.6 billion shillings in March, the highest in the financial year, despite a challenging economic environment due to the coronavirus pandemic.
Despite the challenging economic times, the taxman registered 11.2% revenue growth, collecting a surplus of 6.6 billion shillings in March 2021. According to KRA, this was 4th month in a row that it had posted an improved and above target performance since December 2020. The performance being linked to sustained implementation of compliance efforts, revenue enhancement initiatives, and improved service delivery to taxpayers. The agency's Customs and Border Control Department recorded a growth of 47.3% with a revenue collection of 60.751 billion shillings, the second highest monthly collection in its history. This was the highest compared to February, when it collected 51.3 billion shillings, reflecting a growth of 24.9%. Pay as you earn registered 110.7% improvement with collection of 34.595 billion shillings, a surplus of 3.339 billion shillings. The performance bolstered by collection from the public sector, which had a growth of 5.7%. Withholding tax registered revenue growth of 15.4% with the collection of 9.1418 billion shillings and improvement of 106%. Domestic taxes collected 83.39%, an improvement of 91.4% after collecting 83.37 billion shillings. KRA is reminding all taxpayers to file their 2020 annual tax returns in good time. Suleiman Yeri, Channel 1 News.
On Twitter, Bob Owino, you're tuned in from Konambaya in Manyata, Gonda, while Job Mukaya tuned in from Mutito, Wandoa, and Yadi Wanyama, you're also watching Channel 1 News Weekend, and William Mwamburi, you are watching from Watamu. Thank you so much. Time for us to take our first commercial break right here. We still have plenty more to come, including the third part of the series, The Bane of Teenage Pregnancy. Do stay with us.
Aya basi, ladies and gentlemen, ndio hii hapa.
Note that this is the Nissan Note we are giving out. Wacha kuchelewa.
Nissan Note. Na hii Easter, this is the only time tunawapatia hii Nissan Note. as you can see, inakungojea wewe. So question is, will you be the bidder for this Nissan Note? What do you have to do? Very simple. Enda pale M-Pesa, ingia paybill, weka paybill number 4032353. Kisha itakuitisha account number. Hapo kwa account number, utaanza na the code for the day, ambayo ni note. NOTE, followed by your unique number. Baada ya hiyo, itakuitisha amount. Amount unaweka shilingi 44 peke yake, yani 40 Kenya shillings. After that, weka pin number yako na tuma. We will notify you as to whether wewe ndio lucky bidder ama uendelee kujaribu zaidi.
Na si unipeni pelekee kuhu hata nyumbani aone vile ninatesa Nairobi.
Next episode.
She was sleeping, and as I was so tired, I just went to the bed to sleep. So a few minutes later, as I was sleeping, she woke up and poured sulfuric acid on my face and ran away.
Vitiligo is a condition, like a skin condition, where there is what do we call it, pigmentation or something. So it's like viral. They say it's like viral. It cannot be cured, but it can be treated.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching Channel 1 Weekend. Byron Abuli is our sign language interpreter tonight. The unexpected return of a kin who went missing 17 years ago may be the best gift ever for one family in Kaga, Murang'a County this Easter season. 35-year-old Milka Muthoni reportedly left home in search of a job at the age of 18, never to be seen or heard again. And as her family celebrates, still shocked by the unexpected reunion, Muthoni is glad to be back home after what she terms a life of struggles and gender-based violence.
Tucked on the side of these green leafy hills, songs of joy reverberate around Kaga village in Kiharu constituency, Murang'a County. One family is blissful and grateful this Easter holiday. Their kin, Milka Muthoni, who had disappeared for close to 2 decades ago, is back. In 2004, 18-years-old Milka, fresh from sitting the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Examination, packed her bags and left for Nairobi.
Nilikuwa niende, alafu niweze kupata pesa, nirudi. Nikawa msichana, lakini Mungu akanibariki, akanipea bwana, nikaolewa. Nikaenda Narok, tukakosania huko na bwana.
The 2007-2008 post-election violence did not spare her. Divorced, she moved to Nyeri, where she remarried.
Na sasa tena kukaka, nikapata mashida ingine, ile nyumba tulikuwa naye ikachomeka. Kuchomeka, sasa naye tena ikakuwa tena nikarudi chini tena.
With 2 children and a jobless husband, Milka was the sole breadwinner.
Sasa hiyo ndio matatizo yenye ilikuwa inafanya hata ninashindwa na kurudi nyumbani. Kwa sababu kama ingekuwa ni mahali ya kutembea mguu ningekuwa nimetembea.
But the news of the passing on of her close relatives, among them her father and her brother, was unbearable. She began tracing her ancestral home, and now her return at the age of 35 has brought nothing but joy to her family.
Mwenye aliitwa kuniona akatoroka, juu hakuwa ananijua. Sasa mimi nikamuita, nikampebeleza, nikamwambia mimi ndio dada yako yule mkubwa.
Chenye niliangalia meno, juu siku mwacha akiwa na kitambaa.
Kilio ikaingia ndani ya nyumba kwa sababu ya kuona mgeni.
Milka advises families who have lost relatives to keep hope alive.
Vile nilienda sikuwa naamini ati mimi naweza rudi hapa. Sikuwa na simu, sikuwa na chochote.
Kamchemenza for Channel 1 News.
Must be the best Easter celebrations for the family. And truck operators in Kiambu County are calling on the Independent Policing Oversight Authority to investigate an incident in which police officers shot and seriously injured a truck driver at the Kimbo Weighbridge along Thika Superhighway. Meanwhile, over 300 persons living with disabilities in Narok County have received Easter goodies courtesy of the Narok Peace Association. Details of these and more in news making headlines in the counties.
Irate truck operators in Kiambu County are threatening to stage a peaceful demonstration and paralyze traffic along Garissa Road. The truckers are grieved over the shooting of a colleague by police officers. The truck drivers want Independent Policing Oversight Authority to investigate the police officer, claiming they know him.
Lakini tungeomba kikosi cha IPOA kichukue sheria, maana kwa askari mwenye kumpiga risasi na hata sasa inaongea na nyinyi yuko hapa kwa kazi sasa, na hakuna sheria yote imechukuliwa.
Risasi amepigwa kutoka hapa, imetokea hapa, na ni mtu akona familia, na si hakuna mtu aliibia, hakuna mtu hata mmoja wa mtu ameibia. Ndio tunaomba serikali iingilie kati.
Meanwhile, over 300 persons living disabilities in Narok have received Easter goodies courtesy of the Narok Peace Association. The donations include food, soap and face masks. Narok Peace Association Ambassador Joshua Olekaputa urged Kenyans to help the vulnerable during these tough times.
And I believe as much as coronavirus has affected the lives of people, we can also impact the lives of people.
Elsewhere, Museo County government will spend 21.1 million shillings for rehabilitation of a 24.2-kilometer road under the fuel levy fund across its 7 sub-counties. Speaking at Dadira Primary School in Kingandole Ward, Butula Sub-County, Deputy Governor Moses Mulomi noticed that the contractors have been instructed to use quality maram to rehabilitate the roads.
Kwa hivyo tunatumia shilingi 29.1 million kwa kutengeneza hizi mabarabara 24.2 kilometers, na zinaidhinishwa ikiwa ni pamoja na kuweka makalavats, kuweka maram, kuweka compaction, kuweka zile makalavat zote zinazohitajika katika hizi mabarabara.
And in Kisii County, efforts to address the increasing number of teenage pregnancies currently experienced in the county in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic have been enhanced as non-governmental organizations embark on sensitizing adolescents.
We are trying to integrate COVID-19 messages, STBV messages, to reach out to reach our population, our target population.
Finally, in Laikipia County, it was tears of joy after a family was reunited with their daughter who had been born blind and with mild autism and rescued by a well-wisher. The 4-year-old Belen Chikuti, who could not barely walk and talk, returned home a whole different child after undergoing therapy at Sangita Foundation. According to the foundation's executive director, Jacinta Silakan, who is a nurse, the child was born with cataract and mild autism, and since nobody cared to take her to hospital while developing, she couldn't walk like other kids.
Crossing our borders, the G7 group of leading economic powers, which includes the United Kingdom, United States and the European Union, has said it is strongly concerned by reports of human rights abuses in Ethiopia's conflict-hit Tigray region. The group called for the reported crimes to be investigated and action taken against those found culpable.
The G7 group of leading economic powers also urged Eritrea to withdraw troops that are fighting alongside Ethiopia against forces in Tigray. Both countries' troops have been accused of numerous rights abuses that include mass killings of civilians, sexual violence, looting and the abuse of refugees. An independent investigation revealed the Ethiopian military carried out a massacre in which at least 15 men were killed. Eritrea has dismissed the accusations, while Ethiopia's prime minister has previously denied that any civilians have been killed. The conflict began in November after the Tigray People's Liberation Front captured military bases in the northern Ethiopian region. Hundreds of civilians have been killed and tens of thousands displaced since the fighting began. Meanwhile, the last ships stranded by the giant container vessel that was stuck in the Suez Canal have now passed through the waterway, clearing the traffic jam caused by the Ever Given vessel. More than 400 vessels were left waiting at either end of the canal when the 400-meter-long vessel became way to cross it on the 23rd of March this year. Elsewhere, Italy has imposed a strict 3-day lockdown to try to prevent a surge in COVID-19 cases over Easter. All regions are now in the red zone as the country battles a third wave with about 20,000 new cases daily. Non-essential movement is banned, but people are allowed to have an Easter meal in their homes with 2 others. Churches are also open, but worshippers are being told to attend services within their regions. For the second year, Pope Francis will deliver his Easter message to an empty St. Peter's Square. More than 110,328 people in total have died of the coronavirus in Italy, and there has been 3.6 million confirmed infections. Prosecutors in Taiwan want to arrest a construction site manager whose lorry is suspected of causing a train crash in which at least 50 people died. The lorry slid onto the tracks as the train hit it as it was entering a tunnel on Friday. Rescuers are yet to extract the mangled front carriages inside the tunnel and fear they may find more bodies. The train had been packed with people traveling to celebrate Taiwan's tomb sweeping holiday. Nearly 500 passengers on board may have been standing because the train was so full. Finally, an attack at the U.S. Capitol complex in Washington, D.C. has left 1 police officer dead and another in hospital with injuries. The police say the car crashed into a security barrier before the driver lunged towards the officers with a knife. The officers opened fire and the suspect was shot dead. Authorities say the attack, which came 3 months after the January's deadly Capitol riots, did not appear to be terrorism-related. Yusufar, Channel 1 News.
To a special feature tonight, did you know that at some point, the Kenya Demographic and Health Survey indicated that 1 out of every 5 Kenyan girls aged between 15 and 19 years was either pregnant or already a mother? Tonight in the series The Bane of Teenage Pregnancy, Caroline Kamau and Safina Cheng Ouma crunch the teenage pregnancy numbers for us.
According to the World Health Organization, each year an estimated 21 million girls aged between 15 to 19 years in developing countries become pregnant, and approximately 12 million of them give birth, and at least 777,000 births occur among girls below 15 years in developing countries. Closer home in Kenya, the Kenya Demographic and Health Survey of 2014 states that 1 in every 5 girls aged between 15 to 19 years is either pregnant or is already a mother. A more recent statistic from the Global Childhood Report of 2020, published by Save the Children, states that Kenya recorded 75 births per 1,000 girls aged 15 to 19 years, a slight decrease from the 82 births per 1,000 girls in the same age bracket that were recorded in 2019, but way higher than the global average for 2020, which was 44 births per 1,000 girls, depicting a sluggish decline in the rates of teenage pregnancies. Dr. Bernard Onyango, a senior researcher and policy analyst at the African Institute for Development Policy, explains this trend.
So we know that more than half of sexually adolescents in Kenya who do not want to become pregnant have what we call an unmet need for modern contraception, meaning they're not using a modern contraceptive. Adolescents. But we can't shy away from this being something that we need to address, because we know up to 80% of all unintended pregnancies. So surveys have shown that up to 80% and even more of all unintended pregnancies in the country is happening amongst adolescents. So these are issues that really need to be addressed.
However, despite the fact that teen pregnancies have been a menace in the country over the last few years, the latest data shows the numbers peaked in the month of March after schools were closed over the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the Kenya Health Information System, 11,795 pregnancies for girls aged 10 to 19 years were recorded at health facilities in Nairobi between January to May. Kakamega followed with 6,686 pregnancies, Homa Bay 5,961, Kajiado recorded 5,841, Nakuru recorded 5,836, Bungoma 5,577. 3,237, while Kisumu recorded 3,189. Allow me to give you details of what happened in Kilifi between the year 2017 to 2021. In 2017, Kilifi recorded 11,252. In 2018, it recorded 15,520. In 2019, Kilifi recorded 982 cases. In 2020, 7,515. And in 2021, it has recorded 1,195 cases so far. Kenneth Miriti from the Department of Health in Kilifi County explains.
During the launch of the strategic plan, it was done on 19th of April 2019. The governor banned disco matangas, and he also retaliated that any person that is known to have a relationship with an underage will be dealt with by the county. And the county commissioner who was present there also stated that the chiefs will be responsible for any girls that are coming pregnant in their area. So that statement coming from very high offices within the county helped us to be able to galvanize various mechanisms to create mitigation factors.
Now, experts attribute this to, among others, sexual exploitation and disruption of access to sexual and reproductive health services.
The COVID-19 situation disrupted the supply chain for family planning methods, so for making it a bit more difficult to access than usual, and also hospital services were disrupted. One, there was attention to the COVID. During this period, again, there were concerns that young people who are being exposed to sexual and gender-based violence, including rape, which could also have an effect.
And during this COVID season, there were many trucks that were parking along the highway. In fact, like all the way from Malaba, passing through the whole of Bungoma until you get to Kakamega on the highway along the Malaba, Eldoret, Nairobi, Malaba highway. There were trucks all the way parked. So practically in every situation, in every town, there was a truck. And those are the ones which really cost us a lot of that big menace. So many girls got pregnant from those trucks.
Now, this group of girls are highly at risk, considering the fact that complications during pregnancy and childbirth are the leading cause of death for girls aged 15 to 19 years. Globally, with babies of adolescent mothers facing a higher risk of low birth weight, preterm delivery, and severe neonatal conditions.
They are prone to a lot of infections. They are failure to thrive because even the enzymes, because now they'll be maybe, if you are not able to afford the NAM milk that is formulated for them, they might be tempted to give anything at home, like cow milk. They don't have the enzyme to digest that. So failure to thrive, they even get a lot of retardation. They might die because of cold, because now most of them are very poor. They come from very poor households. They cannot even get a nice roof or a warm place to take care of these kids. And most of them are delivering in the village. So losing the kids is very high.
The other issue is that, they are preventable deaths. We know that when teenagers become pregnant, they're physiologically not really ready. And so the levels of complications in pregnancy and childbirth for them are usually could be higher, and so this leads to preventable deaths in this age group.
Moreover, an estimated 5.6 million abortions that occur each year among adolescent girls aged between 15 to 19 years, 3.9 million are unsafe, contributing to the maternal mortality, morbidity, and lasting health problems.
What we know is that abortion is actually happening in this age group. But as you know, abortion is not legal in this country, Yes, and so what we are able to see, where we are able to see the effects is in numbers around the post-abortal care. So post-abortion care in services when these girls have to seek the services in hospital. But that is still, it really underestimates the numbers because some of them are not getting to the hospital, some of them die before that. But to be, we don't have a very good handle on what the numbers actually look like.
Now, numbers don't lie. The rising trajectory of teenage pregnancies is alarming. It is time to act. It is time to save our children.
Join us tomorrow for the final part of the special series, The Bane of Teenage Pregnancy, to find out what's the missing link in the puzzle of eradicating the teenage pregnancy menace in the country. I am Safin Aching Ouma.
And I am Caroline Kamau.
My colleagues Caroline Kamau and Safin Acheng Ouma digging deeper and looking at the tales of teenage mothers and, of course, teen girls who are pregnant. What do you think? How should this menace actually be addressed? Saying it as it is. Tell us at Purity_Museo and at KBC Channel 1 News. Use the hashtag Channel 1 Weekend. I'll be going through your feedback. Meanwhile, let me see who is watching tonight on Twitter. Paul Mutukumue, you're tuned in to Channel 1 Weekend from Ziwani Kariokol watching. Thank you. And Job Mokaya tuned in from Mutitu. And I also seeing Sarit at, you call yourself at Babalao Sarit. You're also tuned in. Bobo Wino, kama kawaida, thank you so much for watching. And of course, I'll be going through more of your feedback during this broadcast. A second break will do right here. Thank you once again for staying with us. We have plenty more to come, including sports news. Don't touch the dial.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii ya Isaiah 48 kwa simu yako bonyeza *811 817 hash.
Wakati mwingine unaweza kujipata umefinywa pande zote na unaona kama shida yako ni kubwa sana, kama hakuna nguvu ambazo zaweza kuitatua. Lakini ni vyema kujua kwamba kuna Mungu mwenye nguvu na ambaye hachoki kamwe. Isaiah mlango wa 40 mstari wa 8 inasema, "Je, wewe hukujua? Hukusikia? Yeye Mungu wa milele, Bwana muumba miisho ya dunia, hazimii wala hachoki. Akili zake hazichunguziki."
Ili kupata skiza tune hii bonyeza *811 817 hash. *811 817 hash.
And welcome back. Let's now get the sport. Preparations for the Safari Rally Championship set to be held in between the 24th and 27th of June this year are at an advanced stage. Speaking during the media route tour, Safari Rally CEO Phineas Kimathi revealed that the Alphalt Service Park, which is being constructed at the Naivasha's Kenya Wildlife Service Training School, is almost complete.
The asphalt area will be the designated zone where World Rally Championship Priority 1, 2 and 3 teams will be servicing their cars, and the contractors are currently working around the clock to complete an ultra-modern presidential pavilion adjacent to the service park area. Kimanthi, who is also the Kenya Motorsports Federation chairman, noted that the service area will transform into a megacity of its kind where WRC teams will carry out bulk of their activities on arrival. The event's return to the Global Arena was initially scheduled for last year but was postponed to 2021 when coronavirus stepped in and set those plans back by 12 months. Safari Super Special Stage will be based at Kasarani Stadium, with the power stage being run at Hell's Gate. Among the stages that will be run on Safari include Elementaita, Sleeping Warrior, Loldia, Malewa and Kendong, among others. Daniel Mwendwa for Channel 1 Sports.
Tanzanian giants Simba denied Vita Club a chance at the quarterfinals of the CAF Champions League after thrashing them 4-1 earlier today at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium in Tanzania. Simba, who had already secured their quarterfinal place, was still at their very best as they have Matthews Pereira and Callum Robinson each scored twice as a struggling West Brom overwhelmed 10-man Chelsea 5-2 at Stamford Bridge and emphatically ended their 14-match unbeaten start to Thomas Tuchel's reign at the club. The result moves the 19th placed side to within 7 points of 17th placed Newcastle, and even if they do not manage the improbable and also escape relegation, they will look back on this day with great pride.
Here's Alonso, off the post, Pulisic on the rebound, and Chelsea have the lead. And it's the American who was quickest off the mark to respond to all of that. Great free kick, and Pulisic picks up the pieces, and Chelsea are 1 up. Back in the end by Townsend. This breaking here for Pereira, wonderful chance. And West Bromwich Albion a level. Matthias Pereira, cute little lob. And West Bromwich Albion have a lifeline here. Well, was that goal coming? Was in there again, so was Phillips. Is Pereira looking to measure it? He's done just that. 2-1 West Bromwich Albion, an astonishing turnaround here. Furlong this time to play it in. Robinson, he's done it again against Chelsea. 3-1 up, and that is a wonderful strike by Callum Robinson. And West Bromwich Albion are in some sort of dreamland here. 3-1 up. Pereira plays it across, and West Bromwich Albion have another one. Diania slides it in, and they lead by 4-1. Alonso, Werner, surely. Mount plays it in his 4-2. It was unselfish by Werner, and that just gives Chelsea a glimmer, just a glimmer. In the lead, Pereira and Robinson makes it 5. Amazing, just amazing. 2 for him.
I know people are hurting the Chelsea fans, but in any competition there has to be a winner and a loser. I hope we win tomorrow. Manchester United could have Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood available again after the pair joined in with training on Friday when they host Brighton at Old Trafford tomorrow. However, both Anthony Martial and Victor Lindelof could miss out because of respective knee and back problems. Brighton remained without Adam Webster, who is recovering from an ankle injury. The match is one of the 4 Premier League matches on card tomorrow. The fixtures for tomorrow follow in our weekend diary. The Weekend Diary brings us to the end of Channel 1 Weekend this Saturday night. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me take some time and go through your feedback. Karanja Jumbo, that's on Facebook. You're tuned in to Channel 1 Weekend. Thank you so much. Daniel Musimi, you are watching from Nairobi, Ruaraka. Patrick Macau, as always, watching Channel 1 Weekend. And Jim Washira Nyeri tuned in. Thank you so much for the love. Michael Tello tuned in from Migori County. And Grace Atieno, good evening. Happy Easter. Thank you to you too. Tuned in from Kakamega County. Thomas Ongoto watching from Nairobi County with my family, enjoying Easter weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in with your family. Beatrice Endusa watching from Roiro, and Tom C. Thoya watching from Kilifi County. Thank you so much. And then I'm tuned in from Kitale. That's Ivgal Unique. Thank you for your feedback. Joshua Monguru Ishmael on Facebook still. You're tuned in from Kisii County. I always appreciate. Let me have a look at what you're saying on Twitter. And yeah, I'm so sorry. There's a Chelsea fan who's saying that sijasema poa. Okay, I apologize. Okay. Then we have Silvanas Lumbasi tuned in from Namatala, Malava, Cabras. Thank you so much. Godi Washinyalu live watching Channel 1 News Weekend from, okay, here in Mwitunya Ishihumbu. Thank you so much. Happy Easter holidays to you too, Enoch Manwa. And Silvanas, you're tuned in again from Luvonga. Okay. No, you're saying with Francis Luvonga. Okay, thank you so much. So much of your feedback coming in. Thank you so much. And you're saying kesho mtachapo. Okay. You're referring to Manu. All right. We hope for the best, of course. So thank you so much for your feedback. It's always a great pleasure having your company. My name is Purity Museo. Byron Abuli has been our sign language interpreter tonight. Stay safe, wash your hands, sanitize, and put on the mask. Up next is Weather Forecast with Yusuf Farah. Do enjoy the rest of our programming. Good night. God bless.
A very good evening to you and a warm welcome to Channel 1 Weather Updates. My name is Yusuf Farah. Now tonight rainfall is expected in most parts of the country. Strong southeasterly winds of up to 25 knots blowing over the county of Turkana. Eldoret is the coldest with temperatures over there dropping to 13 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow morning the counties of Kisii, Kisumu and Kericho wake up to rains accompanied by sunny intervals. Sunny intervals accompanied by showers in the coastal region. Remember to keep warm in that area. Sunny, partly cloudy conditions in areas of Garissa. Mandera will have a chance of rain in the morning accompanied by sunny intervals. In the afternoon there will be showers accompanied by thunderstorms in areas of Kisumu, Kitale, Kericho, Kakamega and Eldoret. The capital city will also have rains accompanied by sunny intervals. Sunny intervals in the afternoon in the coastal region, unlike the morning where there were showers accompanied by sunny intervals. The northeastern region will have rains accompanied by sunny intervals as well. Areas of Lodwar, the Lake Turkana Basin and areas bordering Kenya and South Sudan will also be having showers accompanied by thunderstorms. As far as the temperatures are concerned, there will be highs of 37, lows of 27 in Mandera. Garissa highs of 36, lows of 25, and Nairobi highs of 27 and lows of 17. On that note, I complete the local weather focus. The international weather focus is coming up in a bit. Again, many thanks for keeping it Channel 1. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Until then, do have yourselves a blessed night.
Bwana Yesu apewe sifa. Majina yangu ni Francis Maabi, askofu wa kanisa la Evangelical Gospel Ministry, nikiwa Nairobi Kibera, sehemu za Uduku. Nataka kuletea himizo, ama nimekuletea himizo kwa wakati huu ambaye mawazo ya